These are the Forgotten Scrolls, 12 centuries of silence now broken, revealing the sacred formulas that shape your reality. As you listen, you'll discover that the whispers guiding mystics, emperors, and visionaries have always been speaking to you. The time has come to remember your power. Ancient Knowledge. Introduction. This 1,200-year-old knowledge was never truly forgotten, only hidden in plain sight, cloaked in symbol and silence. Carried across centuries by a lineage of keepers, this sacred manuscript now re-emerges from the depths of time, summoned by the rhythm of awakening that stirs once more in the soul of humanity. Its return is no accident. You are not here by chance. Within these ancient chapters rests a power beyond speculation, a living current of truth that defies the erosion of time. These teachings have passed like murmurs through temple halls and under starlit skies, entrusted only to those whose spirit was prepared to bear their weight. Now they reach you. This is not knowledge of the mind alone, but of the cosmos, the blueprint by which the unseen becomes seen and thought gives birth to form. These are the primal laws that the ancients whispered in sacred rites, the very laws that align the heart of the Creator with the breath of the universe. To the uninitiated, they are mystery; to the ready, revelation. As stars follow their orbits and flowers unfold in golden spirals, so too does reality follow immutable principles. They are not bound to time, religion, or culture. They are simply truth, mathematical, divine, and utterly precise. You have always carried their imprint in your being, waiting only for the right moment to awaken. That moment is now. This manuscript is not merely to be read, it is to be entered. Each word is a key, each concept a threshold. It is a map to your forgotten inheritance, the ability to shape the world not by force, but by alignment with the eternal order. The keepers of this knowledge knew that its power could not be unleashed until the student was ready. You are here because you are ready. The illusion of separation is thinning. The Eternal remembers you and calls you home to your role as a conscious architect of reality. Open these chapters not with curiosity but with reverence. What lies before you is the encoded breath of ages, the light of forgotten temples, and the wisdom of the stars, waiting only for the one who dares to remember. Before we begin, comment below where world you are listening from today. Part 1: The Forgotten Scrolls. Chapter 1: The Eternal Whisper. In a forgotten chamber beneath an ancient temple, Marcus knelt before weathered stone walls, his heart pounding. For months, mysterious symbols had haunted his dreams, whispers of an ancient language he couldn't comprehend. Now, as his trembling hands brushed dust from the scroll before him, recognition struck like lightning. The very symbols from his dreams were etched into the parchment, their meaning suddenly crystal clear. The universe speaks in whispers, not shouts. Its voice echoes through the chambers of your consciousness, waiting to be acknowledged. Just as Marcus discovered, these divine messages surround you constantly, manifesting as subtle nudges, recurring dreams, or that inexplicable knowing that defies logical explanation. Throughout history, humanity's greatest achievements have sprung from those who learned to attune themselves to this eternal whisper. When you quiet your mind, you begin to recognize these sacred communications. They appear as coincidences too perfect to be chance, as sudden insights that illuminate your path, as gentle warnings that protect you from unseen dangers. This cosmic dialogue has guided inventors to their breakthroughs, artists to their masterpieces, and leaders to their victories. Young Sarah stood at the crossroads of decision, her mind clouded by spreadsheets and market projections. For weeks, a persistent inner voice had warned her against signing the contract before her, yet she dismissed it as mere anxiety. The deal seemed perfect on paper, until she met Elizabeth, whose vast business empire had become legendary in their industry. "I built this company by following the whispers," Elizabeth shared, her eyes holding ancient wisdom. 20 years ago, I walked away from a seemingly perfect merger because something deep within urged me to wait. Everyone called me foolish until the company collapsed 3 months later. That same inner voice led me to invest in an unknown startup that others mocked. That startup became our most profitable partnership. Sarah recognized the truth in Elizabeth's words. Success flows not from silencing our inner wisdom with logic and doubt, but from cultivating the courage to honor these divine communications, however irrational they may seem. The sacred listening ritual. Each morning before dawn, when the veil between worlds is thinnest, sit in complete silence for 7 sacred minutes. Focus solely on the space between your thoughts where the eternal whisper dwells, that pristine realm of pure consciousness where divine wisdom flows freely. Let go of expectations and analytical thinking, allowing yourself to become an empty vessel ready to receive universal guidance. When subtle impressions arise, whether as feelings, images, or gentle knowings, record them faithfully in a dedicated journal, honoring even the faintest messages from your higher self. This practice, passed down through generations of mystics, gradually attunes your inner ear to the sacred frequencies of truth. Chapter 2. The Law of Divine Resonance. In the heart of an ancient concert hall, Isabella stood alone with her violin, her fingers trembling above the strings. For years, she had pursued success with desperate intensity, each performance weighted with the crushing need to prove herself. Yet tonight something shifted within her soul. You see, the universe responds not to what you demand, but to the energy you emanate. As Isabella closed her eyes and allowed pure joy to flow through her instrument, the music transcended mere notes. It became a cosmic dialogue. That evening, a renowned conductor who happened to be passing by was drawn inexplicably into the hall, marking the beginning of her remarkable journey. This principle of divine resonance governs all creation. Like a grand cosmic orchestra, every thought, emotion, and belief you hold creates a specific vibrational signature. These frequencies ripple through the fabric of existence, attracting experiences that match their precise pattern. When you understand this truth, you realize that your life circumstances are not random occurrences, but perfect reflections of your inner broadcast. Thomas, a brilliant quantum physicist, scoffed at such mystical notions until his own laboratory instruments revealed an extraordinary pattern. During moments of frustration, his sensitive equipment displayed erratic readings. When calm and focused, the same devices showed harmonious wave patterns. His rigorous documentation proved what ancient wisdom had always known. Consciousness directly influences physical reality. Through countless experiments, Thomas observed how his emotional states affected quantum particles. The implications shook his scientific worldview to its core. The universe, he discovered, was not an indifferent mechanism but a responsive field of infinite possibility, dancing to the rhythm of human consciousness. Most people unknowingly transmit frequencies of scarcity, doubt, and limitation. They focus on what's missing, broadcast anxiety about the future, and wonder why more of the same manifests in their lives. Yet those who have mastered this principle deliberately attune their inner state to match the essence of their desires. They don't merely wish for abundance. They become living transmitters of abundance consciousness. This ancient science of frequency explains why two people can face identical circumstances, yet experience vastly different outcomes. One broadcasts resistance and struggle, while the other emanates ease and flow. The universe, in its infinite wisdom, responds precisely to each signal, orchestrating events, encounters, and opportunities that mirror these inner frequencies. The resonance attunement: 3 times daily, pause all activity and spend 5 minutes visualizing your heart as a golden broadcasting station, deliberately transmitting the frequency of what you wish to experience rather than what currently appears in your life. Let this sacred practice become your anchor. At dawn, when possibilities are fresh, at midday when the sun's power peaks, and at dusk as day surrenders to night. As you attune to this rhythm, imagine pure golden light radiating from your heart center, carrying the precise vibrational signature of your deepest desires into the infinite field of potential. This is not mere daydreaming, but rather a conscious act of energetic alignment with the very essence of what you seek to manifest. Chapter 3: The Mirror of Existence. In the bustling marketplace of an ancient city, Gregory stood behind his stall, eyes narrowed with suspicion at every passing customer. Each day he saw only deception, hagglers trying to cheat him, competitors spreading lies, thieves waiting to strike. His bitter heart had transformed the once vibrant bazaar into a den of shadows. One morning, a mysterious traveler paused at his stall. Instead of haggling, the stranger simply smiled and said, "The world you see is but a looking glass, reflecting the contents of your own heart. You must understand that the universe operates as a grand mirror, reflecting back to you the essence of your deepest beliefs and expectations. Just as Gregory saw dishonesty everywhere because dishonesty filled his thoughts, your reality manifests as a perfect reflection of your inner world." The marketplace had not changed, only Gregory's perception had shifted when he chose to see goodness first. As his heart softened, he witnessed kindness emerging in his customers, loyalty blooming among his fellow merchants, and abundance flowing naturally into his life. This mirror principle governs every aspect of existence. Your relationships, circumstances, and daily experiences are not random events happening to you, but precise reflections of your consciousness being projected back at you. Consider Angela, whose marriage had grown cold and distant. For years, she blamed her husband's emotional unavailability until she recognized a profound truth. His withdrawal perfectly mirrored her own carefully constructed walls. The distance she felt was the exact measure of distance she herself had created. In that moment of clarity, Angela made a courageous choice. Instead of waiting for her husband to change, she began dismantling her own emotional barriers. As she allowed herself to be vulnerable, to express love without guarantee of reciprocation, something miraculous occurred. The mirror principle revealed itself. Her husband's heart began to thaw, reflecting back the warmth she had dared to offer first. Through Angela's story, you witness the mirror principle in its purest form. The outer world must shift when you alter your inner landscape, for this is the immutable law of consciousness. Every relationship, every circumstance, every moment of your life reflects back to you your own state of being. This truth asks you to assume total responsibility for your reality. When you encounter difficulty, look not to change others but to adjust your own inner state. The mirror never lies, it simply shows you where your work lies. The Mirror Meditation. Each evening as the day draws to a close, review your interactions and circumstances with gentle awareness. Ask yourself, what aspect of my consciousness is being reflected back to me in each moment? Notice the patterns that emerge, where joy appears, where friction arises, where abundance flows or stagnates. Then, with loving intention, consciously adjust your inner state to create the reflection you desire. Like a sculptor shaping clay, Mold your thoughts and feelings into the form you wish to see mirrored in your outer world. This daily practice of self-reflection and conscious adjustment aligns you ever more closely with the reality you seek to manifest. Chapter 4. The Sacred Breath of Intention. In the sacred halls of an ancient Tibetan monastery, Daniel knelt before a withered plant, his military training a distant memory, as he learned a truth far more powerful than any weapon. His weathered hands, once skilled in combat, now held something far more potent, the knowledge of sacred breath. You see, breath is not merely the exchange of air. It is the very bridge between thought and physical reality. As Daniel closed his eyes and began the ancient breathing practice taught by the monastery's eldest master, something extraordinary unfolded. With each conscious inhalation coupled with clear intention, the plant before him began to stir. As he exhaled with purposeful direction, its dried leaves gradually unfurled, reaching toward life once more. The breath you take in this moment carries creative force beyond ordinary understanding. When you breathe with conscious intention, you tap into the same power that sustains galaxies and brings forth new worlds. Each breath becomes a sacred act of creation, a divine tool for manifesting reality. In the sterile halls of a modern hospital, Maria discovered this timeless truth. As a surgeon facing challenging procedures, she introduced her medical team to the sacred breathing practices she had studied. Before entering the operating room, they would gather in silence, synchronizing their breath with clear intention for healing. The transformation was unmistakable. Patient outcomes improved, complications decreased, and the very atmosphere of the operating room shifted to one of heightened healing potential. The universe responds to breath infused with intention because breath itself is the carrier wave of consciousness. Most move through life breathing shallow and unconscious patterns, unaware that each breath could be a powerful command to the cosmic forces of creation. Yet those who master this art understand that every inhalation draws in universal life force, while each exhalation sends forth their creative vision into the fabric of reality. Your breath holds this same power. When you align conscious breathing with clear intention, you activate dormant abilities within your own being. The ancient ones knew this. They understood that proper breathing patterns combined with focused visualization could literally reshape the physical world. The creation breath. As the sun rises each morning, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed and at peace. Take 7 deep intentional breaths while holding your clearest desire in mind. Let this desire be pure and uncluttered by doubt. With each exhale, envision your intention being carried like seeds on a divine wind, planting themselves in the fertile soil of infinite possibility. Watch in your mind's eye as these seeds of possibility take root in the cosmic garden of creation. Feel the power of your breath merging with the eternal force that sustains all life. Then, release all attachment to the outcome, knowing the universe has received your sacred command. Trust in the divine timing and wisdom that will bring your intention to fruition in ways beyond your current understanding. Chapter 5. The Alchemist's Mind. In a dimly lit basement of an aging apartment building, Rachel swept the floors as she had done countless times before. Yet this evening proved different, for tucked behind a loose brick in the wall, she discovered a leather-bound volume covered in curious symbols. The book, she would later learn, contained the ancient science of mental alchemy, the sacred art of transforming thoughts as surely as medieval alchemists sought to transform lead into gold. You possess within your mind the same transformative power that Rachel uncovered that fateful evening. Just as physical alchemy works with metals and elements, mental alchemy operates through precise spiritual formulas passed down through the ages. These formulas reveal how thoughts, like base metals, can be purified and elevated into higher forms. The process begins with recognition, seeing your thoughts as raw material waiting to be transformed. Next comes separation, where you extract the pure essence of your desire from the dross of doubt and limitation. Through purification, you refine this essence in the flames of unwavering faith. Finally, reunification occurs as your transformed thought merges with universal creative force, manifesting in physical form. In the quiet hours before dawn, Samuel stood before his canvas, brushes poised but motionless. For years, his paintings had been technically perfect, yet somehow lifeless. Then he encountered the alchemical teachings that would transform not just his art, but reality itself. He learned to infuse each brushstroke with intentional energy, to see his canvas as more than mere surface, but as a gateway between potential and manifestation. As Samuel applied the ancient formulas of mental alchemy to his creative process, something extraordinary began to occur. The scenes he painted, prosperous businesses, healing sanctuaries, flourishing gardens, started appearing in the physical world. He had discovered what the ancient masters knew. Imagination, properly directed through alchemical intention, serves as the bridge between thought and form. The philosopher's stone, that legendary substance capable of perfect transmutation, lies not in some hidden vault, but within your own consciousness. Through the precise application of these timeless formulas, you can transform any thought from lead into gold, any circumstance from limitation into opportunity. The daily transmutation. Each morning, identify one limiting thought that clouds your mind, whether it be doubt, fear, or a sense of lack. Through the sacred alchemical process passed down through generations, transmute this base thought into pure golden wisdom. Begin with recognition. Acknowledge the thought fully without judgment. Move to separation. Extract the essence of truth hidden within the limitation. Then purification. Cleanse away the dross of fear and conditioning until only potential remains. Finally, reunification. Reintegrate this purified thought with your consciousness, allowing its enlightened opposite to take root and flourish before you begin your day. Just as the ancient alchemist transformed lead into gold, you too can transmute any limiting belief into its highest expression through this timeless formula. Chapter 6, The Keeper of Two Worlds. In the early hours before sunrise, Catherine sat in her corner office overlooking the city. While others saw only glass and steel stretching toward the horizon, she perceived the subtle layers of reality intersecting with our physical world, dimensions that had always existed waiting to be discovered by those who learned to attune their awareness. You too exist at this sacred intersection between worlds. The ancient masters understood that humans are not confined to a single plane of existence, but serve as living bridges between realms. Your consciousness naturally moves between dimensions, though most remain unaware of this extraordinary capacity. The art of dimensional navigation requires understanding that reality consists of multiple frequencies or vibrations. Just as your radio can tune to different stations occupying the same space, your consciousness can align with various planes of existence. These realms contain wisdom, solutions, and creative inspiration beyond what the physical world alone can provide. When you learn to consciously traverse these dimensions, you gain access to infinite resources for manifestation. The process begins by recognizing the subtle doorways that already exist in your daily experience, those moments when time seems to shift, when inspiration strikes from nowhere, when solutions appear fully formed in your mind. Marcus discovered this truth in the depths of his grief. In the space between sleeping and waking, he learned to maintain awareness while his consciousness moved between worlds. There, he received guidance that not only healed his own heart but allowed him to serve as a bridge for others walking the path of loss. His experience reveals how keepers of dimensional wisdom fulfill their highest purpose by bringing back insights that serve both realms. The key lies in developing your ability to maintain conscious awareness while navigating between dimensions. This requires cultivating a state of relaxed alertness, like a tightrope walker, balanced between worlds. As you master this art, you'll discover that the boundaries between physical and spiritual realms become increasingly permeable. The Twilight Journey. During the liminal hours of dawn or dusk, sit at the threshold of sleep and waking, consciously maintaining awareness as you journey between realms, bringing back one piece of wisdom to anchor in physical reality. These sacred moments, when the veils between worlds grow thin, offer profound opportunities for dimensional travel. As your body relaxes and your mind hovers between states of consciousness, you become a vessel for higher understanding. Like the ancient mystics who received their greatest revelations in these twilight moments, you too can learn to traverse the boundaries of ordinary perception. Each insight you gather becomes a pearl of wisdom, strung carefully on the necklace of your expanding awareness. Chapter 7. The Ancient Symbols. In the depths of an ancient temple, Christopher traced his fingers along carved patterns that seemed to pulse with hidden meaning. As his touch followed the precise angles and curves, a subtle vibration traveled through his body, awakening something dormant within his consciousness. This moment marked his initiation into one of humanity's most carefully guarded secrets, the power of sacred geometry to reshape reality itself. You stand now at the threshold of understanding how certain symbols serve as keys to unlock the extraordinary capacities lying dormant within your own consciousness. These geometric forms are not mere decorative elements, but precise instruments for attuning human awareness to higher frequencies of existence. The ancient builders of temples and pyramids understood that specific shapes create resonance fields capable of altering the very fabric of reality. Within every sacred symbol lies encoded wisdom that speaks directly to your deepest consciousness. The spiral mirrors the pattern of galactic formation. The circle represents the infinite nature of existence. The triangle embodies the trinity of creation. These forms bypass your analytical mind to communicate with the cellular intelligence that governs reality itself. When you work with these symbols, you activate corresponding patterns within your own being. Each geometric form serves as a tuning fork, adjusting your personal frequency to align with universal principles. This is why the wise ones of every age surrounded themselves with sacred geometry. They recognized these shapes as tools for consciousness evolution. Elena discovered this truth through her work with the golden spiral. As a mathematician, she initially approached this ancient symbol through pure analytics. Yet as she began incorporating it into her daily meditation, something extraordinary occurred. The mathematical perfection of the spiral began reorganizing not just her thoughts, but the very circumstances of her life. Opportunities appeared in perfect sequence, relationships harmonized naturally, and solutions emerged with elegant simplicity. Her experience reveals how sacred geometry operates beyond intellectual understanding. These symbols speak the language of creation itself, activating capacities that logic alone cannot access. When you work with them consistently, they begin to influence the invisible architecture of your reality. The symbol activation. Choose one sacred symbol that resonates with your soul. Then spend 10 minutes daily gazing at it while breathing slowly, allowing its geometric perfection to reprogram your consciousness at cellular levels. Chapter 8: The Cosmic Command. In a small classroom after hours, Victoria stood alone, her voice barely above a whisper as she practiced her next day's lesson. For years, she had struggled to command attention, her words falling flat in a sea of distracted faces. Yet on this evening, something shifted as she remembered the ancient teaching. Let your voice carry not your fear, but the authority of the universe itself. You too possess this sacred power, the ability to speak words that reshape reality. When you align your voice with cosmic will, your commands carry the full force of universal law. This is not the ego's demand for control, but rather the divine speaking through you as its chosen instrument. Consider how the universe itself speaks, through the thundering decree of storms, through the gentle whisper of wind through leaves, through the silent command of gravity that holds planets in their orbits. Each expression carries absolute authority because it flows from perfect alignment with cosmic law. The difference between ordinary speech and divine command lies not in volume or force, but in source and alignment. When you speak from ego, your words scatter like leaves in the wind. But when you allow yourself to become a channel for cosmic will, reality itself bends to honor your voice. Benjamin understood this truth, though he owned nothing but the clothes on his back. One cold morning, as he shared his last piece of bread with a stranger in an expensive suit, he spoke words that arose not from his mind but from somewhere far deeper. You are blessed with the power to heal others through your wealth. The stranger, a bitter businessman who had been contemplating suicide, felt those words pierce his heart like arrows of light. Within a year, he had established healing centers across the city, his wealth finally finding its true purpose. This is the power that awaits when you learn to speak as an instrument of divine will. Your words become seeds planted in the fertile soil of infinite potential, each one guaranteed to bloom because they carry the full authority of universal law. The Command Meditation. Find a place of absolute stillness. Breathe deeply until you feel the pulse of cosmic will flowing through you. From this space of perfect alignment, speak one clear command that serves the highest good of all. Release it into the universe with complete faith, knowing it is already done. Let your words carry the weight of stars and the certainty of dawn. Chapter 9: The Sacred Geometry of Desire. Amanda stood before her latest architectural creation, tears flowing freely as she witnessed how the building's proportions perfectly echoed the golden ratio she had discovered within her own fulfilled dreams. Each curve, each angle spoke of a deeper mathematical harmony, one that existed not just in physical space, but in the very fabric of human desire. You too will recognize this sacred pattern when you examine your deepest longings. Within your consciousness, desires unfold according to precise geometric principles that mirror the very mathematics of creation itself. Just as a nautilus shell grows in perfect Fibonacci sequence, authentic desires emerge in harmonious proportion to your soul's evolution. The universe operates through exact ratios, and your consciousness follows these same divine blueprints. When your desires align with these sacred proportions, manifestation flows as naturally as a flower blooming in spring. Yet when ego-driven wants violate these universal measurements, you experience the friction of forcing what was never meant to be. David discovered this truth through his work as a composer. For years, he struggled to manifest his dreams, pushing against invisible barriers until he recognized that desires, like musical notes, must resonate at specific frequencies to create harmony. Sitting at his piano one evening, He realized that his truest wants sang with the same mathematical perfection as a perfectly tuned chord. The desires that created discord in his life were like notes played in the wrong key, technically possible but fundamentally misaligned with the universal score. When you learn to recognize these sacred proportions within your own yearnings, you begin to understand why some desires manifest effortlessly, while others remain perpetually out of reach. The universe responds not to the intensity of your wanting, but to its geometric alignment with cosmic law. The desire mapping upon a blank page draw a circle to represent the infinite potential of your consciousness. Within this sacred space, arrange your deepest desires in concentric patterns, following the golden ratio. As you place each desire, feel how it resonates with the whole. Let your innermost yearnings flow outward like ripples on a cosmic pond, each ring perfectly balanced with those that surround it. Some desires will naturally find their place within this divine geometry, while others may resist placement. This resistance itself carries wisdom. Meditate upon this mandala daily, allowing the geometric harmony to attune your consciousness to the natural patterns of manifestation. Watch as certain desires begin to pulse with living energy, while others fade into the background of your awareness. Through this practice, you will learn to distinguish between desires that align with universal proportion and those that create dissonance in the cosmic symphony of creation. Your ability to recognize this sacred alignment becomes sharper with each session, revealing which of your aspirations resonate with the eternal rhythms of the universe. Chapter 10. The Veiled Doorway. Rebecca's laboratory hummed with the familiar rhythm of quantum measurement devices, but she no longer needed instruments to perceive the gossamer-thin membrane between realities. Her near-death experience had awakened an ancient knowing within her consciousness, a direct perception of the doorway that exists in every moment, in every particle of creation. You possess this same doorway within your consciousness. It stands eternally ready, waiting for you to recognize its presence. The ancients spoke of this portal in whispered tones, understanding that the boundary between what is and what could be exists only in the mind that believes in limitations. Within the quantum field of infinite possibility, every reality you can imagine already exists. Your consciousness serves as the selector, the chooser of which possibility manifests into your experience. This selection occurs not through force or will, but through the subtle art of stepping through the doorway that connects all realities. James discovered this truth through his art. His paintings began as simple portals, arched doorways filled with light, yet viewers reported extraordinary experiences standing before them. Some witnessed their desired futures unfolding within the painted light. Others felt themselves physically drawn into new dimensions of possibility. Through his art, James had unknowingly created focal points where consciousness could pierce the veil between realities. The membrane between possible and actual grows thin wherever awareness focuses with sufficient clarity and intensity. This is why masters throughout history have achieved what others deemed impossible. They learned to locate this doorway within themselves and step through it at will. The doorway visualization. As you prepare for sleep, allow a magnificent doorway to form within your mind's eye. Notice its ancient wood carved with the sacred geometries you've learned. See the symbols of eternal wisdom glowing upon its surface, the spiral of divine resonance, the patterns of sacred proportion. Feel the weight of its handle in your hand, cool and solid. Take 7 conscious breaths, each one dissolving the barrier between where you stand and where you wish to be. Feel each breath flow through you like a purifying wind, carrying away doubt and resistance. Let each exhalation soften the veil between worlds until it becomes as thin as gossamer. Then, with unwavering clarity and the certainty of one who knows their true power, step through into the reality you choose to experience. The doorway exists not in some distant dimension or far-off realm, but in this very moment within your own consciousness, this sacred temple of transformation where all possibilities converge. Part 2, The Secret Chambers. Chapter 11, The Language of Light. Nathaniel sat motionless before his grand piano, his fingers hovering above the keys. Though his ears had never heard a single note, his eyes perceived something extraordinary, cascading waves of light emanating from each string, forming intricate patterns that danced through the air. Through years of silence, he had discovered a higher octave of perception, where sound revealed itself as visible luminescence. You too possess this capacity to perceive the light behind all creation. Every thought you think, every word you speak, exists first as a pattern of living light in the higher dimensions. This is why the ancient texts speak of "let there be light" as the first creative command. All manifestation begins in the realm of pure light before descending into denser forms. The masters of old understood this profound truth. Ordinary speech vibrates slowly through the physical world, while words spoken as pure light bypass all barriers, manifesting instantly in accordance with cosmic law. When you learn to speak in the language of light, reality reshapes itself without resistance or delay. Sophia never saw the world through physical eyes, yet her paintings captured the essence of human souls with uncanny accuracy. Her blindness had awakened her ability to perceive the luminous emanations surrounding every person, the light language of their true nature. With her brush, she translated these celestial frequencies into works of art that moved viewers to tears, showing them their own divine light reflected on canvas. Your words carry this same creative power when spoken with the consciousness of light. Each syllable contains the potential to reshape reality when elevated beyond mere sound into pure luminescence. This is why the ancient mystery schools taught their initiates to speak as beings of light, for when consciousness rises to this level, manifestation becomes instantaneous. The Light Word Ritual. Choose a single word that captures the essence of your deepest desire, one that resonates with the truth of what you seek to manifest. Let it arise naturally from the depths of your being. Sitting in perfect stillness, your breath calm and measured, see this word forming in brilliant light before you, each letter shimmering with divine radiance. Speak it aloud with clear intention while maintaining the vision of its luminous form. Feel the vibration of the sound merge with the light of the word. Watch as the radiant letters expand outward like ripples on a cosmic sea, merging with the infinite light of the universe. The boundaries between your consciousness and the word dissolve as it becomes pure luminescence. Hold this vision until you sense the word crystallizing into physical reality, knowing it now exists as living light within the cosmic matrix, its energy already at work in the unseen realms to manifest your desire. Chapter 12, The Keeper's Key. In a quiet corner of an ancient library, Margaret traced her fingers along the mysterious key she had inherited. Unlike any ordinary key, its intricate patterns seemed to shift and change when viewed from different angles. For 40 years she had searched every lock in the library, yet this key refused to fit any physical door. Only when she stopped searching outwardly did she discover its true purpose. It was designed to unlock the hidden chambers of consciousness itself. You too possess such a key within your being. This sacred instrument lies dormant in your awareness, waiting to be recognized and utilized. Just as a physical key requires specific movements to engage a lock's mechanism, your inner key operates through precise combinations of thought, feeling, and intention. The Akashic Records, the universal storehouse of all knowledge, possibility, and potential, await your entry. These records exist not in some distant realm, but in the deepest layers of your own consciousness. When you learn to turn the key correctly, these inner doors swing open, revealing the infinite wisdom that has always been your divine inheritance. William discovered this truth through his lifelong study of locks and mechanisms. His fingers could feel the subtle movements of tumblers, the precise moment when resistance gave way to flow. This same sensitivity led him to recognize the internal mechanisms of consciousness, how certain thoughts, when aligned perfectly, could unlock extraordinary capacities within the human mind. Each person's key manifests uniquely, yet all operate according to universal principles. Some experience it as a sensation of expansion in the heart, others as a subtle click in their awareness. The form matters less than the function. What matters is learning to recognize and engage these internal mechanisms that open doors to higher dimensions of being. The sacred key you seek has never been lost. It has simply awaited your readiness to utilize it. When you align your consciousness with its divine purpose, you'll discover that every lock in the universe yields to its touch. This is not metaphor, but mechanism, not philosophy, but function. The Inner Key Meditation. Seated in silence, bring your awareness to your heart center. Visualize a golden key materializing within, its surface etched with ancient symbols. As you breathe deeply, see and feel this key beginning to turn clockwise. With each breath, repeat the words, "I now unlock my divine potential," allowing the sensation of ancient doors opening throughout your entire being. Chapter 13. The Sacred Hours. In the hushed darkness before dawn, Charles paced the empty corridors of his office building. Sleep had eluded him for months, turning nights into endless stretches of restlessness. Yet on this particular morning, as the first hints of light kissed the horizon, he noticed something extraordinary. The solid walls seemed to shimmer, reality itself growing soft and pliable like clay awaiting the sculptor's touch. In that ethereal moment, Charles understood that what he had viewed as a curse was actually a sacred invitation. Night after night, his insomnia had led him to these mystical hours, when the boundaries between what is and what could be dissolved into infinite possibility. You stand now at the threshold of understanding how time itself ebbs and flows with cosmic tides. The ancient ones knew that dawn and dusk are not merely transitions between day and night, but sacred windows when the universe holds its breath, creating spaces where intention becomes manifest with supernatural speed. These twilight hours carry a power that defies ordinary explanation. It is during these times that the great mind becomes most receptive to human consciousness, when thoughts crystallize into form with remarkable clarity. The veil between worlds grows gossamer thin, allowing those who understand these principles to reach through and reshape reality itself. Diana, a dedicated nurse in a busy hospital, discovered this truth through her own journey. Working the night shift, she noticed that patients who received healing intentions in the pre-dawn hours recovered with inexplicable speed. What began as simple prayer evolved into a systematic practice of channeling universal energy during these sacred moments, producing results that left her medical colleagues in awe. Within these liminal spaces, Diana learned to transmute ordinary healing into miraculous restoration. Her hands became instruments of divine power, guided by the enhanced receptivity of these threshold times. The laws of physics seemed to bend around her intentions, as if the universe itself conspired to amplify her healing touch. These twilight hours offer you the same potential that Charles and Diana discovered. When you align your consciousness with these sacred windows of time, You tap into currents of manifestation that flow with unprecedented power. The ancient masters rose before dawn not from mere discipline, but because they recognized these moments as opportunities to access the pure creative force of the universe itself. The sacred twilight manifestation. For 7 consecutive days, arise 1 hour before dawn. Sit in perfect stillness as reality's boundaries grow fluid around you. In this sacred space, hold your desires in unwavering focus, knowing that during these precious moments the universe is uniquely receptive to your conscious intent. Let your thoughts crystallize with absolute clarity, for in these threshold times, creation itself awaits your command. Feel the ancient power that flows through these twilight hours, a force known to mystics and sages throughout the ages. As darkness yields to light, your own consciousness expands, reaching beyond the veil of ordinary perception. This is when the ethereal and material realms interweave most intimately, when your thoughts possess their greatest potency to shape the fabric of existence. In these moments of divine communion, you become a living bridge between intention and manifestation. Before we get into the next chapter, you can download a free ebook version of this audiobook using the link in the pinned comment below this video. Chapter 14: The Messenger's Path. In the bustling halls of a metropolitan crisis center, Jessica sat with those experiencing life's darkest moments. Through thousands of conversations with souls in anguish, she began to perceive a hidden pattern, one that would transform her understanding of human suffering forever. You see, emotions are not merely reactions to life circumstances. They form an ancient language, a divine GPS system encoded into your very being. Each feeling that rises within you carries precise coordinates guiding you toward your highest destiny. When fear grips your heart, it whispers of unexplored potential awaiting your courage. When anger floods your system, it points toward boundaries requiring protection or injustices needing transformation. Even the depths of grief illuminate the profound capacity of your heart to love. The ancients understood this sacred language. They knew that emotions serve as messengers between soul and personality, carrying wisdom that your logical mind cannot access. Yet in modern times, you have been taught to suppress, avoid, or overcome these essential signals. Consider how a river flows. It cannot be stopped, only redirected. Similarly, emotional energy must move through you. When blocked, it creates stagnation and disease. When channeled consciously, it becomes a powerful force for manifestation and healing. Robert, a federal judge, discovered this truth through his work with society's most troubled souls. Rather than armoring himself against the pain he witnessed daily, he learned to remain centered while fully feeling the emotional currents moving through his courtroom. This profound presence led him to pioneer rehabilitation programs that transformed countless lives. By staying present with both his own emotions and those of others without becoming overwhelmed, Robert accessed a deeper wisdom that traditional justice systems had missed. He demonstrated how true power comes not from emotional suppression, but from conscious feeling combined with unwavering presence. The art of emotional alchemy teaches that every feeling contains sacred information. Your task is not to eliminate negative emotions, but to extract their essence, their divine message, before choosing your response. This ancient practice transforms emotional reactions into conscious creation. The messenger dialogue. When strong emotions arise within you, find a quiet space where you can be undisturbed and fully present. Breathe deeply into your center, allowing each breath to ground and center you as you acknowledge the feeling's presence in your body. Rather than pushing the emotion away or becoming lost in its intensity, ask with genuine curiosity and openness, "What message do you carry from my soul?" Listen without judgment or expectation to the wisdom that emerges from within, knowing that every emotion serves as a messenger from your deeper self. Express heartfelt gratitude for this sacred message, honoring the emotion as your teacher. Then, from this place of expanded awareness and understanding, consciously choose your next step based on the deeper truth that has been revealed to you. This practice of emotional alchemy transforms reactive patterns into conscious creation. Chapter 15. The Sacred Contract. In a gleaming office tower overlooking the city, Alexandra sat in her corner office, surrounded by legal briefs and corporate contracts. Yet in that moment of stillness between meetings, as she closed her eyes to meditate, ancient memories stirred within her consciousness. You too carry such memories, though they often lie dormant beneath the surface of everyday awareness. Like Alexandra, you signed sacred agreements before taking physical form, cosmic contracts that outline the precise experiences, relationships, and challenges needed for your soul's evolution. These pre-birth contracts operate with perfect precision, though your conscious mind may resist their unfolding. When Alexandra glimpsed her true agreement to awaken children's hearts through timeless wisdom, her prestigious law career suddenly felt hollow. The universe had been nudging her toward this path through recurring dreams, chance encounters with teachers, and an inexplicable draw toward ancient stories. Consider how Michael, a decorated warrior, discovered his soul contract contained an unexpected clause. Though he had spent decades perfecting the art of combat, his deepest agreement involved learning the way of peace. His greatest battles were meant to be internal, not external, a truth that transformed his entire approach to conflict. Your own soul contract reveals itself through patterns that persist despite your best efforts to change them. These recurring themes are not random obstacles, but carefully chosen catalysts designed to activate your highest potential. The relationships that challenge you most deeply, the situations that repeatedly arise, the inexplicable pulls toward certain paths, all are breadcrumbs leading to your pre-birth agreements. When you begin to recognize and honor these sacred contracts, the universe conspires to support their fulfillment. Doors that once seemed firmly closed swing open with ease. Resources appear precisely when needed. Divine synchronicities guide your steps. Yet many walk through life unaware of these cosmic agreements, struggling against the very experiences their souls chose for growth. Like Alexandra before her awakening, they may achieve worldly success while feeling strangely empty, their true contract waiting to be remembered and fulfilled. The sacred practice, the contract recovery. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed, a sanctuary where the whispers of your soul can finally be heard. Close your eyes and allow your breathing to become slow and rhythmic, each breath drawing you deeper into the sacred chamber of your inner knowing. As you enter a state of deep meditation, ask with sincere intention to be shown glimpses of your soul contract, the divine blueprint you crafted before entering this earthly incarnation. Pay careful attention to images, feelings, or knowing that arise, for these are the delicate threads that connect you to your eternal agreements. Notice recurring patterns in your life. These often point to key clauses in your pre-birth agreements, like signposts along your destined path. Record any insights in a sacred journal, treating each revelation as a precious gem of wisdom, understanding that full remembrance often unfolds gradually as you demonstrate readiness to fulfill your contract's deeper purpose. Trust that each meditation brings you closer to the complete remembrance of your sacred mission in this lifetime. Chapter 16. The Temple of Silence. In the bustling world of morning television, Thomas reigned supreme as the nation's most watched talk show host. His quick wit and charismatic voice drew millions of viewers each day. Yet when a rare vocal condition silenced his golden voice, he discovered a truth that would transform not just his show, but the very nature of human communication. You see, within the depths of silence lies a power far greater than words could ever convey. As Thomas sat in his studio, unable to speak, he began to notice how his mere presence affected others. His guests, no longer interrupted by clever quips or probing questions, found themselves sharing deeper truths. The audience, freed from the constant stream of verbal entertainment, experienced moments of profound connection. This ancient wisdom has been preserved in sacred traditions across time. In temples hidden from the world's ceaseless noise, initiates would maintain years of silence, understanding that true power accumulates in the spaces between words. These masters knew that silence is not merely the absence of sound, but the womb from which all creation springs forth. Catherine's story mirrors this eternal truth. As first chair violinist with the symphony, she had always focused on perfecting each note. Until one evening, during a performance of Mozart's Requiem, she discovered that the brief pauses between notes carried an energy that moved audiences to tears. She began to study these sacred intervals, these moments of pregnant silence that gave birth to sound. The universe speaks most clearly in silence. Yet in your modern world, a constant cacophony of noise drowns out this divine whisper. Your phones buzz with notifications. Screens flicker with endless content, minds chatter with ceaseless commentary. This perpetual noise creates a veil between you and the pure potential that exists in the void state, that sacred space where instant manifestation becomes possible. The silence immersion. Choose one day each month for complete silence, a sacred Sabbath to commune with the infinite. Disconnect from all devices, external stimulation, and the ceaseless chatter of the modern world. Create a sanctuary of stillness where you can enter the inner temple where divine wisdom communicates without words. As you settle into this profound quiet, feel yourself sinking beneath the surface noise into depths of pure potential. Notice how creation flows effortlessly when you cease the constant doing and enter the sacred state of being. Watch as inspiration rises naturally from the void, untainted by the filters of thought and expectation. In this silence, you will discover the true source of all manifestation, the eternal spring from which all possibilities emerge. This practice of intentional stillness opens the channel through which universal power can flow unimpeded into your experience. Chapter 17. The Alchemy of Gratitude. In the shadows of a city's forgotten alleyways, a woman named Patricia discovered a truth so potent it would transform not just her life, but the lives of thousands who would follow her teachings. Each morning, regardless of her circumstances, she blessed everything she encountered, from discarded newspapers that became her blanket to the harsh winds that swept through her makeshift shelter. You possess this same transformative power within you. Like Patricia, you need only recognize that gratitude operates as an actual force in the universe, not merely a pleasant sentiment. When you genuinely thank the universe for your experiences, you initiate an alchemical reaction that restructures the very fabric of reality around you. As Patricia blessed each moment of her existence, remarkable shifts began occurring. First came small changes, a kind stranger offering coffee, a dry spot during rainfall. Yet as her practice deepened, larger transformations manifested. A business owner, moved by her radiant presence despite her circumstances, offered her work. Within months, Her unwavering gratitude had magnetized resources, relationships, and opportunities that lifted her from the streets to speaking stages. The science behind this transformation reveals that gratitude creates specific electromagnetic frequencies that resonate with universal abundance. When you thank the universe for what you have, you literally tune your consciousness to attract more experiences worthy of appreciation. Consider Henry, whose farm faced devastating drought. While others cursed the dry earth, Henry gave thanks for the challenge, trusting it carried hidden wisdom. This attitude led him to notice subtle ground patterns that revealed ancient water sources below his land. His discovery of these aquifers not only saved his farm, but provided sustainable irrigation for the entire region. Through Henry's story, you glimpse how ordinary gratitude skims the surface while alchemical gratitude penetrates to the essence. When you thank the universe for difficulties, you align with deeper currents of wisdom that reveal solutions invisible to the complaining mind. The sacred practice. Each night before you rest, select the most challenging situation currently testing your spirit and find 7 authentic reasons for gratitude within it. Let your heart open to genuine appreciation, even if it initially resists. Perhaps the difficulty strengthens your resilience, teaches vital lessons, or reveals hidden strengths you never knew you possessed. As you discover each reason, feel the subtle yet profound shift in your being, the alchemical transformation that occurs when genuine gratitude penetrates the dense energy of struggle. This sacred practice gradually transmutes the lead of adversity into the gold of wisdom, realigning your consciousness with the deeper currents of universal intelligence. Chapter 18. The Guardian's Test. In the quiet mountains of Tibet, Richard had built a thriving spiritual center where thousands came to learn ancient wisdom. Yet on the eve of sharing his most transformative teachings, he watched helplessly as fire consumed the temple while accusations from former students destroyed his reputation. In that moment of total loss, he glimpsed a deeper truth about the path to power. You too will face these guardians as you approach significant spiritual thresholds. They appear as your greatest fears materialized, testing whether you possess the wisdom to wield expanded consciousness responsibly. These guardians stand as protectors of sacred knowledge, ensuring only those with sufficient strength and pure intention gain access to higher realms. Throughout history, threshold guardians have appeared in countless forms: the Sphinx with its riddles, the dragons guarding treasure, the dark night of the soul before enlightenment. They arise not to block your path, but to verify your readiness. When everything you've built crumbles precisely as you near breakthrough, recognize this as the guardian's signature. Louise, a gifted artist, encountered these guardians as terrifying visions that paralyzed her creativity, just as galleries began noticing her work. Each time she approached her canvas, nightmarish images flooded her mind. Only when she understood these as tests of her artistic integrity did the visions transform into powerful inspiration. The guardian was ensuring she would serve truth through her art, rather than chase commercial success. Through Louise's journey, you glimpse how these challenges appear insurmountable precisely because they manifest your deepest fears. Yet within each guardian lies a gift, the exact quality you need to develop for your next evolution. When Louise embraced her visions with curiosity rather than fear, they revealed themselves as allies guiding her toward authentic expression. The sacred practice. When facing major obstacles along your path, learn to recognize them as threshold guardians, ancient sentinels placed precisely where you need to grow. Bow to them with deep respect and reverence, for they hold the keys to your transformation. Ask with sincere humility, What essential quality must I develop to pass through this gateway? Then, with unwavering devotion and patience, cultivate that precise quality until it becomes part of your being. These guardians appear stern, but are truly your greatest teachers, revealing exactly what you must master to reach your next level of awakening. Their challenges are perfectly calibrated to forge within you the strength, wisdom, or virtue you most need. Chapter 19. The Forgotten Ritual. In the hallowed halls of an ancient library, Samuel discovered a weathered manuscript that would forever alter his understanding of spiritual power. The text described a ritual so elegantly simple that he initially dismissed it as trivial: 12 breaths at dawn accompanied by specific visualizations and a single spoken intention. Yet as you journey deeper into these mysteries, understand that true power often lies not in complexity, but in the perfect execution of fundamental principles. The ancient ones knew that aligning with cosmic forces requires not elaborate ceremony, but rather impeccable timing and unwavering dedication. This sacred practice operates through precise spiritual mechanics. When performed at the exact moment of dawn, your consciousness naturally resonates with the ascending solar frequencies. The 12 breaths correspond to universal rhythms, each one opening specific energy centers within your being. As golden light fills your form through visualization, you literally raise your vibrational frequency to match that of your desires. Martha, a renowned quantum physicist, approached this ritual with hardened skepticism. Armed with measuring devices and detailed journals, she committed to 40 days of practice purely as an experiment. Yet by day 7, inexplicable patterns emerged. Colleagues spontaneously offered collaboration she had long desired. Solutions to complex equations appeared in her dreams. Resources she needed materialized without effort. The key lies not in believing, but in the unwavering consistency of practice. Just as water shapes stone, not through force, but through persistent contact, this ritual reshapes reality through devoted repetition. The ancient masters discovered that spiritual power accumulates not through sporadic bursts of intense practice, but through simple actions maintained with perfect precision over time. The Master's Morning Ritual. Upon waking, face east where the sun's ancient wisdom first touches our world. Take 12 conscious breaths, each one deeper than the last, while visualizing golden light filling your body from crown to feet. Let this divine radiance illuminate every cell, every thought, every intention. Then, with clarity and purpose, speak your intention once, allowing the vibration of your words to ripple through the universe. Complete this sacred morning communion with a bow of profound gratitude, acknowledging the infinite potential that lies before you, before beginning your day. Chapter 20. The Golden Thread. In the tapestry of existence, golden threads weave through every moment, connecting all that was, is, and shall be. You stand now at the threshold of understanding how these luminous strands guide those who learn to perceive them. Elizabeth's gift for seeing these connections first manifested during a seemingly routine investigation. As she studied crime scene photographs late one night, golden filaments suddenly appeared before her eyes, linking disparate pieces of evidence in patterns that defied conventional logic. Following these threads led her to solve cases that had baffled the department for decades. You too possess this innate ability to perceive the interconnected nature of all things. These golden threads represent the living matrix of universal intelligence, forever weaving meaning through apparent chaos. When you align your consciousness with this divine network, synchronicities multiply exponentially, guiding you toward your highest destiny. Vincent discovered this truth through sound, perceiving how every note in nature resonated along these golden pathways. The rustle of leaves, the rhythm of rainfall, the songs of birds, all followed patterns that revealed profound harmonic relationships. By translating these natural symphonies into music, he created compositions that helped listeners recognize their own place within the universal orchestra. These threads connect every thought you think to its manifestation, every person you meet to their role in your journey, every challenge to its hidden opportunity. Masters throughout history navigated not by forcing their will upon reality, but by following these golden strands of divine guidance. They understood that isolation is an illusion. We exist within an infinite web of meaningful connection. The thread meditation. Close your eyes and visualize golden threads of light extending from your heart center, radiating outward like rays of the morning sun. See these luminous strands connecting you to every person who has touched your journey, every situation that shapes your path, and every sacred desire held within your soul. As you rest in this awareness, gently feel along these threads with your spiritual senses, allowing their subtle vibrations to guide you. Each strand pulses with divine intelligence, showing you the perfect timing and inspired action that will draw you closer to your highest good. Trust the wisdom flowing through these golden connections. They are your compass in the infinite, your direct link to universal guidance. Part 3, The Inner Sanctum. Chapter 21, The Master's Silence. Through countless ages, the deepest mysteries have been preserved not in scrolls or stone tablets, but in silence. You stand now at the threshold of understanding why the greatest masters often spoke the least, yet manifested the most. Gabriel had achieved international acclaim as a motivational speaker, moving millions with his words. Yet his most profound transformation began the day he chose silence. For 1 year, he withdrew from the speaking circuit, communicating only through written notes when absolutely necessary. In that pregnant void, he discovered a wellspring of power that his endless talking had masked. By the time he emerged from his silence, his mere presence could shift the energy of an entire auditorium without uttering a single word. This ancient truth reveals itself through all traditions. True power accumulates in silence. When you cease the constant expenditure of energy through speech, you begin to store a tremendous creative force within your being. Like a dam holding back a mighty river, conscious silence builds pressure until your words carry the weight of mountains. Consider how nature itself teaches this principle. The seed generates its transformative power in the dark silence of earth. The butterfly emerges from the quiet chrysalis. The universe birthed itself from the great silence before time began. All profound change originates in the fertile void where potential gathers force. Miriam's story illuminates this truth through modern application. As her nation's leading peace negotiator, she had built her career on eloquent speech and diplomatic wordplay. Yet when ancient wisdom led her to restrict herself to 7 words per day, she discovered that each word carried such concentrated power that reality itself seemed to reshape around them. In one historic session, she spoke only 4 words. Peace serves everyone's highest good. The warring factions fell silent, then began drafting terms for a lasting treaty. This power remains available to you in every moment. Most humans disperse their creative energy through endless streams of words, complaints, judgments, idle chatter that dilutes their manifestation potential. But when you consciously contain this force through strategic silence, each word you speak carries the accumulated power of all the words left unsaid. The power silence. Choose one day each week to speak only when absolutely necessary, treating silence as a sacred vessel that collects and concentrates your creative power. Use this conserved energy to charge a single intention with such overwhelming force that its manifestation becomes inevitable, like a master archer who draws back their bow in perfect stillness before releasing the arrow. Your period of conscious silence builds tremendous potential that, when finally directed toward your chosen aim, carries unstoppable momentum. In those moments of sacred quietude, you gather the invisible forces of creation around you like a cloak of pure possibility. This practice of strategic silence transforms your words from scattered seeds into precisely planted intentions that cannot help but take root and flourish in the fertile soil of universal possibility. Each carefully chosen word becomes a vessel of concentrated power, carrying within it the accumulated force of 1,000 unspoken thoughts, each silence-charged utterance resonating with the pure frequency of deliberate creation. Chapter 22, The Cosmic Heartbeat. Let me share with you the remarkable tale of Adrian, whose physical limitation became a gateway to profound universal wisdom. Born with a heart arrhythmia that prevented him from pursuing a conventional musical career, Adrian discovered something extraordinary during his daily meditation practice. His irregular heartbeat, which doctors had long viewed as a defect, pulsed in perfect harmony with Earth's natural frequency, the Schumann resonance of 7.83 Hertz. Through this discovery, you will understand how the universe orchestrates all creation through precise rhythmic patterns. Just as your heart beats in its steady rhythm, so too does the Earth pulse with its own heartbeat. Every atom spins in accordance with cosmic timing. Galaxies spiral in mathematical sequences that mirror the rhythms found in your own body. These universal rhythms form the hidden architecture of manifestation itself. When you align your creative acts with these cosmic pulses, you tap into the same force that causes seeds to sprout and stars to birth new worlds. The ancient temples were built according to these rhythmic principles. Their architects understood that timing is everything, not just in music, but in the very act of creation itself. Helena, a midwife of 30 years, stumbled upon this wisdom through careful observation. She noticed that births occurring during certain astronomical alignments produced children with remarkable abilities. By learning to time her breathing techniques with these cosmic rhythms, she helped mothers deliver at precisely the moments when universal forces were most harmoniously aligned. The children born during these synchronized births displayed heightened intuition, creativity, and awareness from their earliest days. Your own manifestation struggles likely stem from working against these natural rhythms rather than flowing with them. Modern life has disconnected you from the cosmic metronome that conducts the symphony of creation. When you force timing through willpower alone, you exhaust yourself swimming against the universal current. The rhythm attunement. Place your hand upon your heart and close your eyes, letting the distractions of the world fade away. Breathe slowly and deeply, allowing each breath to carry you deeper into awareness of your body's innate wisdom. Continue this mindful breathing until you feel your pulse begin to synchronize with Earth's natural rhythm, that ancient, steady beat that has guided mystics and manifestors throughout the ages. In this perfectly aligned state, when you sense the profound connection between your heartbeat and the planetary pulse, speak your intention with clarity and conviction. Your words, carried forth at this sacred moment, will ride upon waves of universal force like leaves floating on a cosmic stream. This divine timing amplifies their creative power exponentially, sending ripples of manifestation through the fabric of reality itself. Chapter 23, The Sacred Chamber. Let me share with you a sacred truth discovered by Leonard, a neurosurgeon whose dedication to understanding consciousness led him to an extraordinary finding. During a routine brain surgery, his instruments detected an anomaly, a previously unmapped neural structure that remained dormant in most humans, but blazed with activity in those who practiced deep meditation. This discovery confirmed what ancient mystics had always known. Within the human brain exists a sacred chamber of manifestation. This chamber, you see, operates beyond the constraints of ordinary physical laws. It exists simultaneously in 3 dimensions, as a biological structure within your brain, as an energetic vortex in your subtle body, and as a consciousness portal accessing higher realms. When you learn to enter this sacred space through specific meditative practices, your thoughts bypass the usual stages of manifestation and materialize directly into physical form. The sacred chamber responds not to force, but to the delicate balance of focused intention and complete surrender. Most seek to manifest through willpower alone, unaware that this sacred space within them holds the true power of instant creation. Those who master entry into this chamber discover that reality reshapes itself according to their consciousness, without resistance or delay. Valerie, an architect renowned for designing healing spaces, learned this truth during a near-death experience that revealed something even more remarkable. In her journey between worlds, she witnessed how each human's sacred chamber connects to others, forming an intricate planetary grid of manifestation. This network amplifies individual creative power exponentially, showing why group meditation and prayer demonstrate such profound effects on physical reality. Through her vision, you now understand that awakening your own sacred chamber serves not only your personal evolution, but contributes to humanity's collective awakening. Each person who learns to access this inner sanctum strengthens the entire manifestation grid, making it easier for others to awaken their own creative power. The sacred chamber entry. As you prepare for sleep each night, visualize descending a golden staircase within your mind, each step illuminated by a soft, ethereal light that beckons you deeper into your inner sanctuary. Count backward slowly from 33, feeling yourself move deeper into sacred space with each number, allowing tension to dissolve as you journey downward. The air grows still and charged with possibility as you descend. At 0, you will find yourself before an ancient door, marked with symbols of creation, spirals, stars, and sacred geometries that have guided seekers since time immemorial. Open it gently and enter your sacred chamber, a space of pure potential where thought instantly becomes form, where the boundaries between imagination and reality dissolve into pure creative force. Here, in this timeless sanctuary, plant the seeds of your desires in the fertile soil of consciousness, knowing they have already begun to manifest in the physical world. Feel the living energy of this inner temple responding to your presence, embracing your intentions with the same creative power that births stars and galaxies. Chapter 24, The Keeper's Oath. In the hidden archives of an ancient temple, Marcus, a decorated military commander, discovered scrolls describing a sacred initiation ceremony. Unlike modern oaths sworn by soldiers, this ritual created an unbreakable energetic bond between the initiate and universal law itself. As Marcus performed the ceremony alone in the temple's inner sanctum, golden light filled the chamber, and he felt his consciousness merge with a vast intelligence that showed him how true power flows only through vessels dedicated to divine purpose. You now hold this sacred knowledge passed down through generations of wisdom keepers. The binding oath operates through specific vibrational frequencies created by precise combinations of sound, intention, and energy. When spoken with pure heart and unwavering commitment, these sacred words forge a covenant between your individual will and universal intelligence. This alignment ensures that all creative power channeled through you automatically serves the highest good of all beings. Through this bond, you gain access to manifestation abilities far beyond ordinary human capacity. Yet paradoxically, this tremendous power becomes available precisely because you have surrendered its use to divine guidance. The oath creates an energetic framework that automatically redirects any potentially harmful intention toward beneficial outcomes, freeing you from the burden of karmic consequences. Consider Deborah, who led her corporation's executive team through this sacred binding. In the months that followed, their company spontaneously reorganized around ethical principles, with profitable new initiatives emerging that served both shareholders and society. The oath had aligned their collective creative force with universal harmony, transforming not just their business but the lives of everyone it touched. This ancient ceremony reveals a profound truth. True freedom comes not from unrestricted action, but from perfect alignment with universal law. When you bind yourself to serve the highest good, you eliminate the possibility of creating harmful karma. This liberation allows you to manifest with bold confidence, knowing your aligned will serves the divine plan. The sacred binding. Find a quiet space where you will not be disturbed. A sacred corner where your inner light can shine undimmed by worldly distractions. Center yourself through deep conscious breathing until you feel a state of profound reverence, allowing each breath to carry you deeper into alignment with universal truth. Place your right hand over your heart, connecting with the divine spark within, and feel the eternal flame that burns in your spiritual center. Let its warmth remind you of your connection to all that is sacred and true. Then speak these words with complete sincerity, letting them resonate through every fiber of your being. I pledge my creative powers to serve the highest good of all, accepting universal guidance in every manifestation. Feel the energetic shift as this covenant takes hold, as though invisible threads of light are weaving you into the fabric of divine purpose. Know with certainty that you have activated an ancient power that will guide all your future manifestations toward harmony with universal law, transforming your creative force into a pure channel for divine will. Chapter 25. The Philosopher's Stone. In the quiet solitude of his laboratory, Raymond hunched over ancient manuscripts and bubbling crucibles, searching desperately for the mythical Philosopher's Stone. For 30 years he followed every recipe, combined every element, yet transformation remained elusive. Then one moonlit night, exhausted from another failed experiment, he surrendered completely. In that moment of pure release, Raymond experienced a profound shift in consciousness and understood that the stone he sought had always existed within. You now stand at the threshold of this same revelation. The Philosopher's Stone, revered through ages as the ultimate catalyst of transformation, represents neither mineral nor metal, but a precise state of consciousness that you already possess. This sacred awareness emerges at the intersection of two seemingly opposing forces, boundless love and unshakable certainty. When you achieve this delicate fusion of heart and mind, reality itself becomes as malleable as clay in the potter's hands. Every thought infused with this dual power manifests instantly into physical form. The ancient alchemists encoded this truth in metaphor, speaking of transmuting lead into gold, while pointing to a far greater transformation, the awakening of consciousness to its own creative power. Consider Teresa, whose breakthrough equations in quantum physics revealed consciousness as the unified field that prophets and mystics had long described. Her mathematical models demonstrated how human awareness, when elevated to specific frequencies, creates coherent energy patterns that literally reorganize matter at the subatomic level. Through rigorous experimentation, she proved scientifically what sages had taught through allegory, that reality shapes itself around consciousness aligned with universal law. The philosopher's stone activates when you maintain perfect coherence between unconditional love and absolute knowing. This paradoxical state, simultaneously fluid yet unwavering, open yet focused, creates an alchemical reaction in consciousness that transmutes possibility into actuality without intermediate steps. The stone activation. Enter meditation, holding simultaneously the feeling of infinite love and absolute certainty about your desire, maintaining this paradoxical state until you feel reality shift around you. Let your heart overflow with boundless compassion while your mind remains unwavering in its knowing. This delicate balance, this sacred union of fluid emotion and crystalline thought, creates the alchemical vessel through which universal forces flow. As you sustain this dual awareness, subtle vibrations will begin to ripple through your consciousness. The very fabric of existence will respond to this harmonious merger of love and certainty, reorganizing itself according to the template held within your unified state. Chapter 26, The Forgotten Language. Deep in the archives of an ancient monastery, Sarah traced her fingers across weathered manuscripts, her years of linguistic expertise suddenly illuminated by a startling discovery. The text before her revealed fragments of a universal language, not merely a means of communication, but a direct interface with the creative force of the universe itself. You see, this primal tongue transcended ordinary speech. Its syllables and sounds created precise geometric patterns in the quantum field, templates through which pure intention could manifest into physical form. This explains why certain mantras, chants, and sacred words maintain their power across all cultures and times. They carry echoes of this original creative language. The key to understanding this lost language lies not in intellectual analysis, but in the story of Joseph, a child born without the ability to speak. While doctors labeled his condition a disability, those who knew him witnessed something extraordinary. Joseph communicated through pure intention, bypassing the need for words entirely. His thoughts manifested directly in others' awareness, demonstrating that the primal language exists in a realm beyond verbal expression. Through Joseph's gift, you glimpse a profound truth. The forgotten tongue operates through feeling rather than thinking. Modern languages describe and define reality, creating boundaries and limitations. But the original language creates reality itself, flowing from the depths of pure consciousness, where intention and manifestation are one. This ancient knowledge reveals why masters throughout history emphasize silence before speaking. In the quiet depths of meditation, when mental chatter subsides, traces of this primal language naturally emerge. The sounds that arise spontaneously from your core in these moments carry creative power that your thinking mind cannot access. The sacred practice, the primal sound. Find a quiet space where you will remain undisturbed, a sanctuary where the noise of the world cannot intrude upon your inner journey. Enter a state of deep meditation, allowing your awareness to sink beneath the surface of thought like a stone descending through still waters. As mental activity subsides into peaceful silence, open yourself to the sounds that emerge naturally from your depths, the whispers of ancient wisdom that have always dwelled within. Make no effort to shape or direct these sounds. They carry wisdom beyond your conscious understanding, arising from the infinite well of universal knowledge. Trust that these spontaneous tones contain fragments of the forgotten language, each vibration rippling through the quantum field with creative potential, weaving new patterns in the fabric of reality. Let each sound flow freely, knowing it carries the pure intention of your highest self. Practice this daily, allowing the primal language to gradually reawaken within you. With patience and devotion, you will find these sacred sounds becoming clearer, more purposeful. In time, you may discover that what begins as formless vibration takes on distinct qualities, tones that heal, syllables that manifest, frequencies that transform. This is the remembering of what your soul has never forgotten. Chapter 27. The Divine Architect. In a dimly lit office overlooking the city, Christina sat before her drafting table, her hands trembling as she witnessed something that defied explanation. The blueprints she had meticulously drawn for a revolutionary sustainable building were materializing in the empty lot across the street. Not as physical construction, but as shimmering outlines of pure light. You see, Christina had stumbled upon what ancient master builders always knew, that consciousness itself serves as the primary architectural force in the universe. Her discovery reveals how reality emerges from divine templates that exist first in higher dimensions before manifesting in physical form. These sacred blueprints follow precise mathematical proportions that you can observe throughout creation. From the spiral pattern of DNA molecules to the majestic arms of galaxies, the same divine architecture governs all scales of existence. When you align your creative imagination with these universal principles, you participate directly in the cosmic design process. Consider Nathan, whose loss of physical sight awakened a profound inner vision. In his small studio, this gifted sculptor places his hands upon raw clay, feeling within it the perfect forms waiting to emerge. Those who view his completed works report miraculous restoration of their vision, not just physically, but spiritually as well. Nathan's art demonstrates how true creation flows from perceiving the divine blueprint that exists before physical form. What these stories illuminate is that master architects of reality operate simultaneously across multiple dimensions. By adjusting subtle patterns in higher realms, they initiate cascading changes that ultimately transform physical circumstances. This explains why visualization practices work. They allow you to access and modify the energetic blueprints from which physical reality emerges. The Blueprint Meditation. Find a quiet space and close your eyes. Begin to visualize your ideal life as an architectural blueprint drawn with lines of pure light. See every detail with pristine clarity. Your relationships, work, home, and purpose all outlined in luminous precision. Each day, add more intricate details to these plans while maintaining the feeling that this reality already exists in higher dimensions, simply awaiting its descent into physical form. Let the luminous design grow ever more precise. See the exact texture of your furniture. Hear the specific words of your conversations. Feel the distinct emotions that fill each space. As you refine this template, remember that you are not merely imagining, but accessing the divine architecture that shapes all creation. You are discovering what already exists in the subtle realms, participating in the sacred process through which thought becomes form, dreams become reality, and the invisible becomes visible. Chapter 28. The Eternal Flame. In the depths of human consciousness burns an eternal flame, a sacred fire of pure creative potential that never truly extinguishes. This truth revealed itself to Victoria in a moment that should have claimed her life, as flames engulfed the building around her during a rescue attempt gone wrong. Yet in that crucible of extremity, she experienced something profound, a glimpse of the immortal fire that burns within every human heart. You too carry this divine flame, though perhaps its light has dimmed through years of neglect or doubt. The ancient wisdom keepers understood that this inner fire serves as the primary catalyst for transforming pure potential into physical reality. When properly kindled, it becomes the forge where wishes are transformed into manifest form. Through Victoria's near-death revelation, you now have access to teachings that were once reserved for temple initiates. She discovered that this eternal flame operates through resonance. One awakened heart can kindle the dormant fires in others, creating a cascade of awakening. This explains why being in the presence of a master often spontaneously activates latent abilities in students. Consider Andrew, whose small candle-making workshop became an unexpected source of healing for his community. During his meditative practice of crafting candles, he learned to imbue them with specific frequencies of consciousness. Customers reported remarkable recoveries after lighting these candles with focused intention, from chronic pain vanishing to deep emotional wounds finally healing. Through Andrew's story, you witness how flame serves as a conductor for consciousness itself. This eternal flame within you connects directly to the cosmic fire from which all creation emerged. This explains why every spiritual tradition throughout history has honored fire as a sacred transformer. From the eternal flame of ancient temples to the ceremonial fires of indigenous peoples, humans have always recognized this element's power to bridge worlds and manifest change. The flame awakening, light a candle with reverent awareness, feeling its sacred presence before you. As you gaze upon its dancing flame, visualize it merging with your heart center, joining the eternal fire that has burned within you since the beginning of time. Breathe deeply and purposefully into this inner fire, while stating your intention with clarity and conviction. Watch in wonder as the flame blazes brighter with each breath, growing stronger as you align your consciousness with its transformative power. This ancient practice awakens the divine spark within, allowing your deepest desires to manifest through the purifying element of fire. Chapter 29. The Ascended Thought. In the hallowed halls of Cambridge University, Malcolm sat before his chalkboard, equations flowing from his hand with supernatural grace. As he worked, an extraordinary phenomenon began to unfold. Solutions appeared in his mind before his calculations were complete, as if mathematics itself had transcended its linear nature to reveal all possibilities at once. Through this initiation into higher mathematics, you too can understand how thoughts evolve beyond their dense mental forms into pure creative frequencies. Just as water transforms from solid to liquid to vapor, your thoughts can ascend through distinct vibrational states until they operate at quantum levels where manifestation occurs instantaneously. The ancient masters understood this process, teaching that thoughts begin as heavy constructs bound by logic and material causation. Yet through specific practices of mental alchemy, these thought forms can be refined into pure light frequencies that bypass normal chains of cause and effect. When your thinking ascends to these rarefied levels, creation happens through direct modification of reality's quantum matrix rather than through step-by-step material processes. Consider Isabella, whose dedication to expanding human potential led her to discover how thoughts could be transmitted as pure consciousness rather than mere information. After learning to elevate her teaching beyond intellectual constructs into enlightened thought forms, her students began achieving what seemed impossible: perfect test scores across entire classes, profound insights that transformed their fields of study, and accelerated learning that defied conventional limits. This demonstrates a crucial principle. Ordinary thoughts must travel through time and space to create effects, while ascended thoughts operate beyond these constraints. When you learn to elevate your thoughts to their highest frequency, they gain direct access to the universal mind where all possibilities exist simultaneously. From this exalted state, manifestation requires no intermediate steps. Reality simply reorganizes itself to match your enlightened thought patterns. The thought ascension. Select one pure intention, holding it gently in your awareness without strain or force. Visualize this sacred thought rising through your crown chakra as brilliant crystalline light, pure and unencumbered by doubt. As it ascends, consciously release all attachment to outcomes, all expectations of how and when it must manifest. Let your intention float freely upward into the infinite universal mind, where it gains direct access to the limitless creative power that births worlds. In this exalted state, your thought merges with the divine intelligence, becoming one with the very force of creation itself. Chapter 30. The Keeper's Legacy. Through countless generations, wisdom has passed not through mere words on chapters, but through the direct transmission of consciousness from master to student. As you read these words, you participate in this ancient tradition, for true teachings transcend the limitations of language to touch the eternal spark within your soul. Consider Eleanor, whose lifetime of spiritual mastery culminated not in personal acclaim, but in a profound act of transmission. As she lay upon her deathbed, 7 students gathered around her. With unwavering clarity, she placed her hands upon each one in turn, transferring not just knowledge, but the very essence of wisdom each required for their unique spiritual mission. Through her touch flowed decades of accumulated power, understanding, and divine connection, each student receiving precisely what their soul had prepared them to carry forward. You now hold in your hands teachings that have survived centuries, through similar acts of preservation and transmission. This wisdom lives not in the ink and paper before you, but in the quantum field of consciousness that connects all seekers of truth. As you engage with these principles through sincere practice, you become part of this unbroken chain of keepers. The truth of this transmission reveals itself through the story of Timothy, a humble janitor who discovered spiritual texts destined for destruction. Though he could not fully comprehend their contents, he recognized their sacred nature and carefully preserved them. Decades later, these same texts catalyzed a global spiritual awakening, demonstrating how every sincere act of preservation serves humanity's evolution in ways we cannot foresee. Understand that mastery measures itself not through the powers one gains, but through the wisdom one transmits. Each person who sincerely engages these teachings becomes a living vessel for their preservation and transmission to future generations. You who have journeyed through these chapters now carry this sacred responsibility, not as a burden, but as a privilege to serve humanity's awakening. The legacy transmission. Place your palms reverently upon these sacred chapters while pledging to embody and honor its timeless teachings. As you do so, visualize brilliant golden light flowing from the ancient wisdom contained within, streaming through your hands and into the depths of your heart center. Feel this divine radiance filling your entire being as you accept your sacred role as keeper of these eternal truths. Let the warmth of this light remind you that you now stand as a living vessel of this knowledge, tasked with preserving and sharing these teachings in service to humanity's greater awakening. Through this simple yet profound ritual, you forge an unbreakable bond with the wisdom of the ages. If you enjoyed this audiobook, I created a free ebook version for you. You can download it using the link in the pinned comment. Conclusion. As you close these chapters, know that you have not merely read words, but received a living transmission that now pulses within your consciousness, awaiting activation through devoted practice. The ancient manuscript has chosen you, as it has chosen souls throughout millennia, entrusting you with sacred knowledge that carries both infinite power and profound responsibility. You stand now at the threshold between who you were and who you shall become, holding keys that unlock not only personal transformation, but contribute to humanity's collective awakening. The journey mapped within these chapters represents but the beginning, for true mastery emerges through integration, where teachings become lived experience and wisdom flows naturally through your every thought, word, and action. Remember that this knowledge remained hidden not from scarcity, but from reverence, revealed only when humanity proved ready to wield such power with love rather than ego. As you venture forth, may you discover that the greatest secret was never the manuscript itself, but the divine potential it awakens within you, confirming what the ancient keepers always knew, that you yourself are the living philosopher's stone, the eternal flame, the sacred chamber where universe learns to know itself. Go now with blessing and purpose, for the cosmic laws await your conscious command. Reality itself yearns for your creative touch, and generations yet unborn shall inherit the legacy of transformation you choose to embody. The eternal work continues through you. If you enjoyed this exclusive audiobook, I handpicked this next book which will change your life.